Shut the talking to
What up, bitches? It's the misanthropic one, aka He Who Hungers, and I'm back up in this bitch for another rant/review. Today, I want to talk about this album right here, which is Reks's latest album called Eyes Watching God. Well, I've talked about Reks before on my channel, and before I go into this review, I just want to state something because I sort of have a personal issue with this guy. He put out a mixtape, I believe it was maybe late last year, sometime last year. I know it was later in the year last year or early this year. I can't really remember, but I remember the name of it was called Revolutionary Cocktail. Now, I went on his site, rekshiphop.com, and ordered it, and I never got it. So I sent a couple of emails to him. I don't know if I sent emails to him or if it's his girl or someone that manages that PayPal. And I got in contact with Reks on Facebook, and I let him know that I didn't get my copy or whatever happens. You know, to this day I haven't heard shit, and it kind of pisses me off because I did get one response from him, but he kind of, I don't know if he's just that busy or he gets tons of messages or whatever, but you know, I didn't even get a refund or anything like that. But you know, hit me up, let me know what's going on. If you see this, I know you will see this, so let me know what's going on, because I like your music, and if I'm not gonna get that copy of that mixtape, at least refund me my shit, you know what I mean? But still love you, Reks, you're my boy. You got a new album out. Shout out to Hazardous Sounds who produced this whole shit. I've talked about Reks before. He's a MC from the Massachusetts area, dope rapper, love his work, was looking forward to this. First off, check out the what they call this, lenticular cover, which is just a fancy way for saying a fucking hologram. And it's pretty cool. Shows him in what appears to be Indian garb, and then when you move it, he's in an SS uniform, so it's supposed to be like good and evil, which is sort of what this album is supposed to represent. Or I should say Gandhi is the good. Looks like Gandhi. He's wearing that Indian type garb. But this CD is divided into the God side and devil side. And well, let's do it how I usually do it. Producers, only Hazardous Sounds. He produced the whole thing. I'll get into that in the pros and cons. Shout out to Hazardous Sounds, like I said. Features on this bitch. You got N.O.R.E, aka Noriega. You have my man Saigon. You have Ezdred, Vanessa Renee, Terminology, Ming, Fredro Star from Onyx, Rusty Jukes, Dutch Rebel, Knowledge Medina, City Boy D, and Easy Money. You have 17 tracks. The features are spread out. A lot of them are posse cuts for the most part. And a lot of features do their thing on here. And I'll get into that further in the pros and cons. Pros and cons of this bitch. Pros. I love the fact that he kind of stays conceptual as far as the God and devil side, because That's what I initially read that this album was about. And on the God side, he basically is flexing his conscious and lyrical, conscious lyrical content, I should say, excuse me. And Reks is no stranger to this. If you're a fan of him, you already know that he delves into some of this shit. He's on his black consciousness shit with Garvey. N.O.R.E hits us with a really surprising verse, because I never pictured Noriega really rapping about that shit. Saigon, obviously, on that same track. Garvey, y'all know how Saigon is, especially if you have his last album, what is it, Greatest Story Never Told 2, Breads and Circuses, and you hear that track with, what is it, Styles P, you'll know how Saigon is spitting right now. He has a song that's sort of dedicated to Steve Biko. Anybody who's into the black consciousness shit knows who that guy is. He was a great hero that basically gave his life in that anti-apartheid movement. Go look him up. The song's called Martyrs. Well, let's keep going. Oh, and shout out to DJ KNS and DJ Heron for their cuts. I don't want to leave you guys out of it. Devil Side, to sum it up, the Devil Side is more like street shit that he's talking about, more like everyday shit that people that would be in the streets or in the hood would deal with, like Hop Out Boys. You got a track called Unholy with Fredro Starr and Rusty Jukes. Now, if you're familiar with those two, you already know what the fuck that track is about. Just straight up wilding out on the track, straight gangster shit. Track 12, one of my favorite tracks, is Snakes, where he's talking about how people, basically it speaks for itself, how people could be snakes, have the ability to backstab you and have the characteristics of a snake. You got a couple bonus tracks, track 15, track 16, and track 17. All dope in my opinion, but what I want to speak on is track 17, which is the last track, the John Doe flow. My man Terminology, he owned that fucking track. He just went on with so much aggression. He probably, I could arguably say he had the best verse on the fucking album. Cons of the album, I would say it lies solely on production for me on this one. Not to say that it's whack. It was consistent. It didn't really blow me away, because when you listen to Rex's previous shit, and let me go back to seminal Reks albums like what was it, Rhythmatic, Eternal King Supreme, or Gray Hairs. Those two albums for me are just immaculate Reks albums, and he had a better beat selection fucking with different producers than just this one. And I'm a fan of the one MC, one producer format, but it just, compared to those albums, these beats, not that they were whack, they just were there to me, you know what I mean? And Reks is MC that when you listen to him, you can hear he has charisma and character in his voice, and I felt that was overtaking some of the beats, at least to me. That's just my opinion. Track wise, there really wasn't nothing that really shook me too, like in a negative. Like Hop Out Boy seemed kind of a little bit catchy for him. If anything, I liked the content of the track, but that track was probably, I don't know, to me, probably the weakest on the album. But that's really all I got to say about it. My rating of it, I would give it probably like an 8.5. It was a good album. Shout out to Reks, shout out to Hazardous Sounds, and that's all I got to say. Y'all know the deal. Leave your love, leave your hate. Most of all, subscribe. Support dope shit. And that's it, all right? Peace, bitches.